Hi traders. So let's have a bit of a workshop here. Earlier, one of our members actually asked me how should he actually set his stop loss when he's trading a flag type pattern. Alright, this is actually a very good topic as well, and I don't think I've talked about this one before, so I thought of just making it into a short workshop and let all of you learn together. So when it comes to flag, it's absolutely one of my favorite setups. Okay, one of my favorite setups based on my back testing. The win rate is extremely high, risk reward at least 1 to 3, just extremely good setup. So what is a flag in the first place? So a lot of people they know flag from Google, they know it from textbook, from YouTube, whatever. So flag is nothing but it tells you that price is accepting new highs or accepting new lows. So what does it mean is that when price starts moving into one direction, let's assuming it's in an uptrend, buyers are actually willing to pay for premiums, which actually held price into a tight consolidation. So that's from the buyer side. On the flip side, again, buyers who bought it at a low price will again tend to look for exits when price have been expanded into one direction very aggressively, because they won't hold their full position all the way into this high. Most likely they're going to secure partial, they're going to scale out 60% or secure some sort of profit, and that's really what's causing a flag to form. We have, this is what I call a flagpole, and this is what I call an actual flag itself. So how do you define whether it's a valid flag or if it's a false flag? Is the first thing first. Let me just draw everything again. When it comes to criteria on a flag, there's basically just two criteria. First thing is this consolidation should not be more than half the impulse leg. It should never be more than that, because the moment this consolidation extends way too wide, if the range is like this, that's not a flag. All right, that's possibly a reversal pattern, or that's basically just maybe just testing a support then continue running higher. That's not the true definition of a flag. That's the first thing, the range. Not more than half of the actual flagpole, because if it's more than that, what did I just say? It's likely not a flag. It's likely just some sort of pullback, or if it's going to be, it might be a major reversal, reversing all the way down as well. That's the first criteria. Second criteria is that a flag should not last too long. So it really depends on what's the time frame that you trade and how do you perceive the flag. Okay, if I'm trading the 15-minute chart, if I see a flag that extends all the way like this, does it still look like a flag to you? It's not. Likely it's just some sort of weakness or uncertainty in the market, which could potentially lead to rollover. All right, so again, first criteria is the range. Second criteria is what we call the duration. Okay, so basically that's the two simple criteria that you can use it as to filter out the poor flag pattern, because there are times where price seems like a flag, but it's really just some sort of rejection. Then you'll see price eventually push all the way down. So again, that's it for the criteria. So goes to flag, there are different variations of flag. The first one is what I call the textbook flag, which is something like this or something like this. Very, very simple. Price respecting a channel here, or price respecting the minor structure here. So very simple flag pattern. We don't really have to talk about this one. The second one is a little bit tricky, which is what I call a fake out flag formation, which based on my testing, the success rate and the risk reward on this variation number 2 are a lot more profitable as compared to the typical one. On the typical flag type scenario, usually price just won't go away too much, and based on my back testing, lots of time price just like to tag out the low before it continue running up. That's not because the big players are trying to manipulate the market. That's purely just because everyone are setting their stop loss under that minor low. Okay, so the third variation is what I call an expanding formation. A lot of times you see a flag doing this, or some people call it a broadening triangle. I try to not make it so sophisticated. I'll just call it a flag as well. Okay, sometimes you might see price expand like this, but based on my experience, the probability of this expanding pattern to push up or reverse all the way down are quite equal. It's about 50 plus a little bit percent. So I don't really like to trade the variation number 3. So let's talk about variation 1 and 2. When you're looking at a flag, one of the member just now asked me, how can I tighten my stops? And in that way, he can increase his risk reward. There are 2 types of entry when it comes to a flag. The first one is what I call the conservative type. Okay, I don't trade this style. This is basically what the textbook tells you. You buy the retest. Okay, this is from my experience, it just doesn't work, because most of the time when you're chasing the breakout here, very likely price is going to snap back really deep. Okay, just again, based on my experience, based on my testing, I could be wrong. What I like to do is I like to go for type 2 entry, which is an aggressive entry. I like to cash the low here, because if you think in terms of risk reward, same thing as your probability of success. If you take a long here versus you take a long here, which one do you think provides you a higher probability of success, at the same time gives you a much longer response time? What is the response time? Basically means you have much more time to actually react to it if it's really not a flag. If you take a long there, if price really does snap back, you're immediately out of the market unless you have your stop loss that wide, or else technically speaking you're out. Okay, but on the flip side, if you're having an entry right here at the low or at the bottom band, we have an upper band, bottom band, that sets you way ahead from the retail trader, because when you take a long there, of course you're subjected to what, a reversal threat, but every setup, every price pattern will tend to fail at a certain point, right? So it doesn't really matter. It's all about probability, and it's all about long term. We don't care about one single flag. We care about after what's likely to happen on my portfolio, on my equity curve, after I've taken 100 flags. Okay, if you take a long here, assuming if price really does run up, where is your stop loss? Under that low, right? Logical sense, under that low. And if price really does reverse up, even if you reject here and come all the way down, you still have time to actually get out for break even, or actually trail your stops a little bit higher. Okay, that's why for any of you, I always say don't follow the textbook style. Yes, if you're looking for a conservative trade entry, you can look for the variation number 1, but just to tell you that your entry position is a lot poorer as compared to someone who go aggressive, who just take a long based on the buy limit order at the previous low. You can either do it. So there's 2 ways you can go with when you're looking for an aggressive or type 2 entry on a flag. Is the first one is you have a buy limit at the previous low, exactly at that previous low, because there are a lot of times price either come back forming a slightly higher low, then you just run all the way up. There are a lot of times, again, based on my testing, more than 50% of the time price wouldn't come back to the equal low. But so the first method is, again, draw a zone here and have your buy limit around the low. So in that way, your stop loss is very easy to guide as well. When you're taking a conservative entry, you take a long there, it's super hard to guide your stop loss, because it has to be so wide. If it has to be so wide, think about it. When you're looking to trade a flag, you're basically anticipating a range expansion scenario, which means we're breaking through this tight range, forming a fresh high. So when market is at a fresh high, which means you have no guidance, you have no reference point as compared to the current price, very likely you're going to come back to me and say, Neil, where should I set my target? All right, because a lot of you actually asked me this question before. I took a flag pattern, where should I set my target? That's a good point, because when you're trading a flag, you have absolutely no certainty over where do you set your target unless you have a pretty clear previous high here. Then you can set your TP there. If not, You have to somehow chill your stops or whatever. But if you think in terms of risk reward, you take a long after the break based on the retest. Your stop loss is very wide, maybe I say 40 pips. Then how far should your target be? How far should price run in order to fulfill your 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk reward requirement? It has to run at least 100 to 120 pips to just fulfill your basic risk reward requirement for any setup. So that's why I say I don't encourage this way. However, on the flip side, if you take your long entry right here, stop loss, maybe you cut it by half or sometimes more than half, 15 pips. If price really does break through the high, it only has to run 45 pips and he has already completed a 3R. That's why I always say, don't follow the textbook style, because a lot of times that's how the retail traders actually get caught entering at a poor price position. Price position basically means your entry level. Okay, just a more fancy way to say it. I like to say price position. So it goes back to our topic. So you have to really identify whether if you are looking for a type 1 entry, type 1 entry, which is you're looking for a break and retest type scenario. That's what we call type 1. Type 2 is basically you're looking for some sort of either equal low, then you have a much tighter stops to it. Okay, that's your entry, stop loss, that's your target. That's your entry, stop loss, and your target. So type 3 entry is what I trade the most, is actually anticipating a fake out. So when it forms a flag, I like to have my buy limit order set under the previous low. So in that way, when price really starts pulling back, I go really aggressive. If it tag me in, I know my price position is better than anyone else who's looking to trade this flag. Because most of the time, a flag tends to have a fake out as well. Yes, sometimes it doesn't, but let's assume 30 to 40% of the flag, it will tend to tag out this previous minor low, then you run all the way up. Go do your testing again. What I'm explaining here, what I'm teaching here, all the materials, go do your own homework. Go do your own testing. Don't just listen to me and start applying into live market condition, because in that way you can never learn. Okay, so again, you really have to choose what you want to go for, type 1, type 2, type 3. Of course, type 2 and 3 gives you a much better risk reward profile to it. If you're looking at type 1, of course, what I'll suggest you is wait for another layer of confirmation. When you're looking to trade type 2 and 3, a lot of times the EMAs, the moving averages, are still sort of sloping down, because what you're doing is you're anticipating maybe the 20 is under the 50, but you know over the long term this is going to be profitable. Another one is, you see, type 1. If you want to trade this, I'll suggest you, if you're looking for type 1 entry, please use it along with EMA cross scenario, because based on my own practice, my testing, a flag plus moving average are extremely how can I say, the success rate is extremely high. So let's talk about a completely different scenario. If right now, let's say you are entering a flag, maybe you enter at the breakout, you enter here, can you actually set your stop loss in between a flag? Okay, I'll give you 3 seconds to actually think about this one, because it's an interesting topic. So the answer is, it's pretty damn risky. Okay, it's pretty damn risky, because the main reason why retail traders lose money on trading the flag is because after they see a breakout, they buy the retest, they set their stop loss in between, price pull back deeper, and it move all the way up. So it maybe come back to test that minor low, for whatsoever reason, it pulls back a little bit deeper. So if you set your stop loss in between, it's sort of like you're following the 95% of the crowds, so 95% of losing traders. So I really don't suggest it. You try not to change your stop loss to fit into your risk reward requirement. What you really have to do is fix your entry. Okay, the only way you can have a high risk reward trade It's all determined by your entry. It's never about the way you set your stop loss, because the way you set your stop loss, it should always be at a sensible area where you think if you get tagged out, you're likely to be wrong. So you won't look for extra re-entry. If you set your stop loss in between, if it really comes back, tag you out, it's going to left you stunned. Okay, should I go for re-entry or not? Maybe I'll take another one. I'll get stopped out again, maybe I'll take another one. Stopped out again, stopped out again. That's why I say, go for type 2 and 3 entry, more of an aggressive type. Second type is just set a buy limit at the previous low. Third type is even more aggressive, set a buy limit under the low. So if you flip it, it's just, if you flip it on the bear flag, it's basically just setting your sell limit above the minor structure, then expecting price to come back, tag you in and run all the way down. Okay, so that's just a bit of workshop here on flag, and I hope all of you learned something new. Very messy chart, but please, and very, very important topic, because flag is an extremely profitable pattern, but somehow retail traders lose on this pattern because they have no knowledge, they have no ideas over different variations of this pattern, and with different types of entry you can have to maximize the success rate and the risk reward on this type of setups. All right, so trade safe, take care, and I'll talk to you in the next video.